Hi, Kathy Schwartz. Hope you're doing okay today. Hi, Ann. You home all day today, Ann? Or do you have to go into work? All right, good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock on Monday morning. At least I think it's Monday. And I'm excited to show you a new suite that has launched in the Stampin' Up! New annual catalog, which really doesn't come out till June, but they are giving us opportunity to get the suite now, customers and demonstrators. So we wanted to get a head start and show you some really nice projects. So I called my live stream today a 3D and a card, and I'm going to be doing one today and Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll do 2 projects each day. And this is just kind of a way to get people excited about the new suite. And then on the 20th, I will have a live stream Stamp of the Month class using this suite. So lots and lots to show. So I wanted to get an early start. Thank you everyone who's joining. Since this is not in the catalog, you can't find this in the mini catalog, and we obviously don't have the new annual catalog yet. If you go on my website, it's barbarareed.stampinup.net. You can see all the wonderful products that are available in the suite. And I'm going to go through the products here quickly so you can kind of get a idea what is available. The entire suite has 6 products, but 2 of the products, these bundles, have 2 items in them. So there's actually 8 new products in this suite, and it is really an amazing suite. So let me go ahead and show some of those things that I have here. All right, let's put our products aside. Let's go ahead and show the bundles first. Okay, the first bundle is called ORNATE THANKS, and it has all these great sentiments that you can mix and match. They have a big thank you, so grateful, thanks, and then they have all these smaller sentiments in a more cursive-like font, and those you can add to the others here. So you can say, so grateful, your kindness is so loved, so grateful for everything. There's just lots and lots of different kinds of combinations you can make. And I really like the combination of the fonts, and you'll see that on both of my projects today. Very, very cool. So that is the one stamp set. And then the dies that go with this one are called Ornate Borders. And these are dies that make borders on the side of your cards or can make borders across your card. So you die cut out a border and then you can kind of adhere it somewhere on your card. I'm going to be making a few different ones using this as well. So watch for those later on this week. I'll be using some of those. So that is one of the bundles. The other bundle is called Ornate Style. Let me grab that one. This one is more of a image stamp set. It is red rubber instead of the photopolymer. And this one is for those friends that really love to color I got out my blends and did some coloring with these. Really can make some beautiful cards. Very vintage look to these. This suite, you'll notice that a lot of the colors are kind of 70s and just really pretty. So that is the stamp set. And then the dies that go with that, I actually had to put in 2 separate pouches here. They're all these really elaborate and ornate kinds of frames. So we will be using some of these in our projects as well. And just very beautiful, intricate frames that you can cut out and use for your cards. So those are the 2 bundles. So those are 4 of the products. And then another thing they have is the Ornate Flower 3D embossing folder. And this is very beautiful. It has a really beautiful flower pattern on it. And we'll show you that later on in the week as well. There is an Ornate Garden Combo Ribbon Pack. Beautiful ribbon here in terracotta tile and in old olive. So that's kind of gives you an idea of the color palette a little bit. Okay, and then there's also these gorgeous gilded gems. You know Stampin' Up! Always does a great job with their embellishments. These are flat front gold gilded gems. Very pretty. Those are also part of it as well. Hi Nancy. Hi Deb. Good morning everyone. Thanks for joining. And then the last thing I wanted to show you here was the designer series paper. And in order to be able to show you, I cut some smaller pieces so you can kind of see the different choices, but just beautiful, amazing colored paper. I think my favorite might be this one here. I don't know what you gals think. Which do you like the best? I really love them all. But what's so nice about this paper is that on the reverse side, you have a coordinating color or design that has gold foil. I don't know if you can see that real well on the camera, but the back sides have gold foil. That one doesn't. This one does with the mint macaron. Very pretty. And this is just white with the gold foil. So it's just really some pretty colors. So I'm going to be using, I'm trying to remember, I'm going to be using this one today because that I think is still my favorite of all. But it changes day to day. And then I'm going to be using this one as well. Okay, so that is all of the products in the suite. There are 8 products in all. And what's nice about this, you don't have to buy all of the products. You can kind of pick and choose what you like. And then makes it easier for you based on what you might need. Okay, so we're going to make our 3D item first today. And this is a little hand lotion box I made. Just open it up like this. And I put inside of it a little hand lotion from Bath and Body Works. This one is an Easter lotion, and believe it or not, it is chocolate. That is the fragrance is chocolate. Now, who wouldn't want to have the fragrance of chocolate on their hands? Well, maybe that might be a bad thing. Hi, Laura. How are you doing? So we're going to go ahead and make this box. And I left a little bit more room than I usually do because I thought it would be fun to put like some Easter grass in there or something, and then just lay your little hand lotion on there, and then it just closes right up. So very simple, quick and easy box. And I used the paper, and for this one, I put the paper on all the sides so that you can really get a good appreciation how pretty the colors are. Now I have all the dimensions and everything will be on my blog, so don't worry about trying to catch them this morning. I'll make sure that everything is on my blog as well as this video tutorial. All right, so let's get started. Okay, let me get my paperwork here. So I have my directions. Okay, first thing we're going to need is I'm going to put that over there. Just putting out some things so I can get to them quicker. All right, we're going to start with a piece of old olive cardstock cut at 6 3/4 by 7. All right, 6 3/4 by 7. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my scoring board. And to score this, you're going to go on the short side first, which would be the 6 3/4 side. And you're going to score at 1 inch from both sides. So here, I'm going to score 1 inch and 1 inch. Okay, that's all you need for the short side. Now the long side, we're going to turn it on the 7-inch side, and we're going to score at 1, 3, 4, and 6. I was doing some really hardcore scoring the other day, and I actually snapped this in half. Can you believe that? I am really getting into it, but it still works, although I'll probably get a new one. So that is all our scoring for today. Now I'm going to bring in my template so you can see exactly how we're going to do our cutting. Okay, I'll put it this way, and let me go ahead. I'll get my bone folder, and I will. That's true, Deb. Same, I would too. But I just was so excited when I saw that chocolate flavored hand cream. I just had to get it. All right, so now I'm just folding on all those dimensions. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn this one the way I have this here, and you can see exactly what I'm going to have to do here. Okay, these are the sides of the box, so we're going to go ahead and turn, and I'm going to cut up each of these score lines just up to the first horizontal. Okay. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing okay over there in lockdown in Lancaster. We are hanging in here. And then these are going to be the 2 panels of your box. So I'm going to go ahead and cut little wedges out of the flaps in between. So when we fold the box together, we won't have too much paper overlapping and getting stuck in the corners. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. This couldn't be any easier, guys. This is an easy box that you can whip up pretty quickly. All right, again, we're going to go ahead and cut out the little wedges as we did on the other side, and you will quickly notice that it looks just the same as my template. All right, come out, there we go. All right, I'm gonna lay it down beside, and there we have it. They're both the same. So very easy to go from your regular paper to cutting it to be a box. All right, so let's put one away. I'm gonna grab my Tombow, and we're gonna get started adhering. Okay, now before we put the box together, we're going to put our designer series paper on. Now this is the paper I chose for this box, and you're gonna have to have 5 panels. Excuse me, I gotta get these 2 little guys out of here. Okay, so you have 5 panels, and the panels are cut at, now remember, I have all these measurements on my blog. The largest one is 4.5 by 1 3/4. Then I have 2 at 4.5 by 3/4, and then I have 2 at 1 3/4 by 3/4. Okay, so this is going to be the top, the front, and the sides. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and the reason I like to put it on before I put the box together is you can put more pressure on them and make sure that they are really well stuck. All right, so I'm going to say this is going to be the front of my box, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick that one down. There will be a little bit of a 1/8 of an inch border around it on the front panel of the box. Then I'm going to take the other long one here. This is the long and more narrow. That's going to go on the front here. And then it's going to go here as well, because that's going to be the back side of the box. All right. And now we've got our smaller pieces here. Hi, Jerry, welcome. I'm going to put those right along the side here. Yeah, it just helps, especially if you're doing gluing. It gives you a little more time to work on the panel, and you can really push down. Once the box is together, you have to be a little more gentle with it. So there. Okay, there is the box panels all put on there. And then the last thing I want to do is I'm going to take my 3/4 inch punch, and I'm going to put a little thumb tab right there so that the person can open the box a little easier. Okay, everybody following here? All right, what a nice group we had this morning. All right, first thing I'm going to do is put the bottom of the box together. So that means I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow on those 4 corners. I'm going to pick it up, starting with the back. I'm going to go ahead and fold that down and slide the flat behind the panel. Just hold that for a moment. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Slide the flat behind the panel and hold it. And let's do that one more time. Actually 2. Slide behind the panel and hold. Tombow's great for this because if you don't get it in the right spot right away, you don't have to like peel it apart and tear the inside of the box. Gives you a little extra time to get your tabs and your box sides just where you want them. All right, so there's the bottom of the box, ready to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and close the lid and adhere that. And the reason I say it that way is you wanna close it first, because then the box will know how much to let available so that the, oops, get that off there, so that the lid will go on and off nicely. If you glue it first and then try to put it on, it might be too tight. So I always try to close the box, and here, this is what I do. I put the flap down, and then I just close the side panel on it and hold it. Okay, same thing over here. Close the side panel and hold, and remove all gooey pieces of Tombow. That is an important step. Okay. So there is my box. That's how easy that is to make that box. Isn't that just beautiful? So springy, really, really pretty. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on making our embellishments for the top. Let's bring this back in. I'm gonna go ahead and work on my daisy first. And the daisy I made actually using the medium daisy punch, which is something I've had in my stash for quite a while. This is a great, great, thank you, Deb. I love making boxes, I know. I just love it. And so this is something I pulled out because I saw some flowers on the box in the print that look kind of like daisies. And I thought I'm going to bring this in. I think that would be a great embellishment for the box. So all I did was I brought in some So Saffron cardstock, and I cut out 3 of the daisies. Okay. And now what I pick up each of the daisies, and with my finger, I kind of round them. So all these I'm kind of rounding down. So I take my finger underneath and just kind of pull so that all the petals are kind of rounded down. Okay. Then I take the next one and I round these up. Because if you just put the 3 pieces together and glue it to your box, it doesn't have a lot of dimension. So I like to do this. That one's up, and then I'm going to do another one down. And then I'm just going to kind of glue them on top of each other, making sure that I'm alternating so that the petals are sticking out. All right, so I'm going to start with this one that I rounded down, and I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow, and I I recommend the Tombow for this too, because sometimes you don't get it right down where you want it, and the Tombow will give you a little time. All right, then I'm going to take my next one. I'm going to put it down in the middle, and then I'm going to make sure that it's turned so it's coming out and alternating there. All right, and see, with turning them up and down a little bit, it gives it a little more dimension there. Now I'm going to put the next one on facing down. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Tombow again, just a small dot. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one on top, alternating again. Let's see. There we go. And push that down. Okay. So there is my daisy. And then I kind of like to floof it up a little bit so that it looks very three-dimensional. And then to finish that off, I take my 1/2 inch circle punch and a little piece of early espresso. I put a little dot on there. And then I use my little pick tool to pick this one up. And then I stick it right down in the middle. Okay, so there is, oh, let me take that one off. I used the wrong size. I have both of them in here. Let's go to the smaller one. That's what I was looking for. Oops. Let's pick up my daisy. All right, try again. Here is the one I'm looking for, a little smaller. That's the smallest one. There we go. I got the wrong one out. Excuse me, girls. There we go. And let's put that on there. That looks a lot better. Looks more like a daisy with the smaller center. So there we go. There's our daisy, ready to roll. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is do our sentiment here. And that's going to go on this rectangle that is one of the dies in one of the bundles. Let me show you. Okay, this is the one with all the frames, but it comes with this stitched rectangle. I love that. I always like the stitching around. And that die is part of the set, so you can, what makes it really nice is you can cut out a frame like this, which I'll do on another card later, and then you can cut a sentiment on the rectangle and it'll fit in the frame perfectly. So that was a great addition to this set, to also have the little rectangle. But we're just going to use the rectangle today, no frame. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our sentiments. Now these are the sentiments from the Ornate Thanks, and I'm going to do the large thanks in Old Olive. Okay, I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to kind of do it to the right side. This is hard to do when it's far away, but I'm going to do my best. There's my thanks. And then for the script that goes underneath, I'm going to take my memento ink. I just love that combination where you have your thanks and then the smaller cursive writing is in the memento. So let's hope I get that in the right spot. Looks great. All right, so that says thanks for all you do. And there's so many different combinations you can use. They've got loads and loads of stamps in that set. That would be a great stamp set just to have for every day. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that rectangle onto my box. Okay. So a little bit of Tombow on the back. And then now for my daisy, I'm going to take a dimensional, of course, and put that on the back. And then that goes right here on the side, making sure it doesn't cover up any of your words. Okay. And then my final thing, I'm going to bring in a small little linen twine bow. And I'm going to get my glue dots. And I'm going to put the bow right on a glue dot. Let's get that one there. Then I'm going to use my little pick tool and pull it off. And then I can put it right onto the box without getting anything stuck on my fingers, which is really great. All right, so there's the box. Okay, so that was an easy box. Everybody could be able to make that one. Remember, all these dimensions and all the products that I use for the box will be on my blog. All right, well, let's get started on the card now. This is a really pretty card that I really love. So let me move these things away here. Bring in the next box. And here is our card we're going to be making today. This shows off the beautiful paper so well. And the color here, that is the card base, is Rococo Rose, which is one we don't use that much, but it's a color that's a new in color. Okay, so it's going to be around for at least another year, but I just love how this turned out. It just looks so pretty. And here I used the larger thank you instead of just thanks. And then here I used from the bottom of my heart, which is another option there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this card. Let's take this stuff away. Bring this stuff in. Okay, we're going to start with a piece of Rococo Rose cardstock. And this is cut at 5.5 by 8 1/4, and then it is scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my bone folder and crease that. So this is our card base. All right. Now to the card base, we're going to add a card front. And the card front is another piece of Rococo Rose, and this is cut by 4 by 5 1/4. And then on top of that, we're going to put this piece from the Designer Series paper stack. And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And we're just going to put that right on the front and adhere that using Tombow. See, look at how pretty this is on the back. It has like mint macaron and gold foil on that. Really, really pretty. I have some projects that have the mint macaron for the cardstock later on in the week. That really beautiful. I love mint macaron. That's such a great color. So let's go ahead and just adhere that to the card front. And you're going to have a little bit of a border around the edges of that. Okay. Now our next step is we're going to go ahead and let's put the card front over there for a minute. We're going to make this little embellishment here. And this is really super easy to make. What I did is I took 2 strips of cardstock, one in Blushing Bride and one in the Rococo Rose again. They're 1 by 5, okay? And then I took the Rococo Rose strip, and I got that at Bath & Body, okay? If you look at Bath & Body Works, Deb, that's where I got the hand cream. Sorry, I just saw your message. And what I did with this is I took out of the same die set, I took this small little die here in the middle. It's kind of a filigree, okay? And what I did is I laid it on the middle of the strip and then ran it through the die cut machine. And then you'll get this beautiful little filigree kind of design. And then in order to make it stand out a little bit, I wanted to bring in another color, a little lighter. So I picked Blushing Bride. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to first adhere this piece to my Blushing Bride. And that gives it a little bit of a pop. You can really see the pretty pattern now. Isn't that nice? I love that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this whole thing on the bottom of my card front. Okay, so that's going to go right about here, maybe a ½ inch. Oops, it's too long. What did I do? Let's put it on so it's in the middle. It should really be 4 3/4. So I'm going to have to change that on my direction sheet. But we can always fix things. We're card makers, right? All right, so there. Now it looks much better. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work on the sentiment. Same thing again. We're going to use one of those rectangles. I love those little stitched rectangle. But this time we're going to use the Rococo Rose ink. Okay. And I'm going to use the big thank you. Thank goodness that these are in the photopolymer so you can really see right through them and you can get it right where you need it to be. There we go. There's the thank you. Now I can give you a little bit of a tip. You notice that I kind of put the thank you a little bit higher on the rectangle. Not quite in the middle. It's because you need a little bit of space on the bottom to put your script, if you decide to put script on there, okay, when you go in with your second part of the sentiment. So I raised it up a little bit to give me a little bit of space, and then I'm going to grab my Memento ink again, and I'm going to ink up this one. This one is a long one. It says from the bottom of my heart, which I love, and I think that's a great sentiment. Okay, and then you want to kind of line it up underneath your thank you. Now, since it's in the Memento ink, it really doesn't matter if it overlaps a little bit because you're going to be able to see it. There we go. Isn't that so cute? I love that, how it overlaps a little bit. So that really gives you a good idea about the ornate, what is the name of that? Ornate, I get the ornate thanks. Okay, I just wanted to give you an idea. For both of these projects, this is what I was using, the ornate thanks. And the photopolymer really does come in handy that you can really get it right where you need it. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our thank you, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that, and that's going to go right on my card front here. All right, I kind of closer to this element here than the top. I love that. It's just so pretty. Really nice and simple, but pretty. All right, now I'm going to turn this over. And just like Dory, my friend Dory would do, I'm going to put some more dimensionals on here. And then I'm going to put this whole card front right on my card base. Okay, you could also maybe pick a different color for your card base if you'd like. Maybe do an old olive. Maybe white or crumb cake, but I like the consistency with the card base and the card front. So we're going to put this on the front, just like that. And there is your card. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today and hanging in, and I hope you enjoyed and got some great inspiration from my projects today. I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock with another 3D project and card that are part that I use the products from this Ornate Garden Suite. So I hope you can join me again. And tomorrow we're going to make a tall gift bag and a card. And you know how gorgeous the paper is, so the gift bag is very, very pretty. So please share this with anybody you think might enjoy the crafting. And I hope to see everybody back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Take care. Have a great day.